gave me purpose. Oh yeah. Try to fit in with the world, but it worthless. Yeah, try to get my soul, ain't working. Kept living in sin, ain't worth it. I got a whole lot of blessings on me. They told me it's a couple souls out there that need saving. I put my faith in Christ, I know I'm gon' make it. Woke up this morning, that's why I praise him. Oh my gosh, oh my goodness. Jesus, he died for my sins. It's humble, it's humble, it's humble, it's humble, it's humble, it's humble. Jesus, he died for my sins. It's humble.
What's up, people?
What's up?
Today we reacted to his own show
with Mark Lamont. Something about you're going to learn what he's saying. If y'all already know what he's about to say, we're just here to react to it. Yeah, some raw, reaction. You know what I'm saying? Just like
we're gonna give our opinion 100%.
I mean, yeah, we're definitely gonna filter out like curse words and stuff, but like I'm Daniel. I'm gonna find a sound effect for us to use for curse words, like a fart or something. Like every time somebody curses, is a fart or something.
All right, let's get into it.
All right.
Cool. I'm good with that.
All white dorm at Howard. You think that would go down well?
I think it's such a counterfactual hypothetical because most white people don't want to go to Howard because they don't be around that many black people. And that's okay. You know what I mean? In fact, most people who go to, ends up going to Howard? Athletes, oftentimes, for undergrad, not grad. Athletes. Because they want to be a Division I basketball player and they didn't get into Duke or Wake Forest or they didn't get recruited, but they'll go to Howard, right? Which is a good school, but not the best basketball school. Mm-hmm. It's actually very interestingly similar to what happens to these black kids when going to Duke or Wake Forest. I'm okay with that. I don't say, well, why are we letting that white guy in as an athlete?
Call me crazy, but I think discrimination is discrimination. There's no such thing as positive discrimination. Now, I just want to move quickly because I know we're running out of time and I want to ask you specifically about the...
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
How did you feel about the Dave Chappelle thing?
Like what Dave Chappelle said about me?
846, yeah.
I have a thing.
You didn't tweet about it, and you tweet a lot, so I was genuinely
I did tweet about it.
Oh, I guess when I woke up, I hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah, I tweeted immediately about it. I said, I'm not going to be offended by this because I'm a big believer that we need comedians. I think right now we've arrived very suddenly into a politically correct environment where comedians get canceled. They're said that now everything they say is too vulgar, too sexist, too racist, too this and that. And the comedians are there to further the conversation, and they should be offensive to everybody, every side, all the time. And I've seen Dave Chappelle be offensive to conservatives. I've seen him be offensive to liberals. And that space to me should be sacred. And so I said, I'd love to meet him. I've been a fan of him my whole life. But I will defend comedians to the death of me to say what they want. They need to, their ground is becoming less and less sacred and they're being canceled too often.
That wasn't a gotcha. I just genuinely wanted to ask you. I really wanted to know.
Everyone thought I was going to be upset about it. I'm like, do you know my brand? I'm not politically correct, And
I think Laura Ingraham might be upset, but.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen her or talked to her about it, and I know there were some black men who felt like, this is too vulgar. We can't be talking like that. But this has always been his brand. So if he had switched it up and suddenly became vulgar, then I would be like, this was, just hateful. But I've seen all of his stuff. He's always taken risks. He's always, really gone in and said stuff like that. So I personally believe comedians are in a sacred space and they shouldn't be attacked. Especially in today when we're in cancel culture all the time. We need more comedians to just take risks and say stuff. But I wanted to ask you, as a last topic about the LGBTQRSTUVWXYNZ agenda.
The agenda? That sounds so nefarious.
It is agenda. When you start, trying to get policies placed into school that allows teachers to call your child by a different gender, and as a parent, they're not required to tell you. They could be calling your little boy Samantha all day at school, and they don't have to tell you. That's an agenda, right? When you start trying to systemize it, to make it systemic, it becomes an agenda. And when you see how vicious that lobby has become, particularly the trans, I've said, you had me at the LGB, lost me at the T.
Why the T?
The T, because that's when you started telling people they were bigots because they don't want to play the crazy game. So here's my point. I think trans is a mental disorder. I think there's tons, gender dysphoria is a mental disorder. There's tons of mental disorders out there. There are people that walk around down the street and think they are Superman. Think they have powers and they can fly and they're Batman. And I would never want to see that person attacked. I grew up in a family where one of my uncles had severe mental disorders and thought he was like Indian from a tribe or something, kind of got it because he was in solitary confinement for too long and he actually went crazy in prison. So I've always been sensitive to people that have, mental disorders. But when you start saying in society that you now have to pretend that Candace's uncle is an Indian, and if you don't, acknowledge him as Pocahontas, then you're a bigot. That's wrong. Now you're putting the pressure on me to not just be, accepting of this, but now to play the crazy game and to say, if you mispronounce and you don't call him Chief Pocahontas, then you're a bigot. Yeah. I don't play that game. I'm like, I'm going to live in reality. You cannot live in reality. You can say how you feel. You can say what you think you see. You can say that you think that, we're on Mars right now, but I'm not going to pretend that I see Mars because it makes you more comfortable.
So I would, obviously I disagree. And what's interesting is there are people, you say you're with the L and the G and the B. There are people who, 30 years ago would have made the exact same arguments against you for the L, the G, and the B. They would have said that there's scientific data, that these are people who have mental disorders. There's some misalignment between what they desire and what they're supposed to. That there's some kind of gender thing going on that they're confused about. I think that we have to do a few things. For me, I think the easy part, and this is the part I think you and I agree on, is that we have to accept, and we should accept people as they present themselves in the world, right? Like if someone says if I told you my pronouns were she, her, you would address me as she and her, right?
No, I wouldn't.
Really?
No, I would call you Mark.
Okay, but you wouldn't call me he.
No, because I mean, I would call you Mark, if that was something that made you comfortable. But if I saw you,
and if I said my name was Jane, would you then call me Jane?
If that was your legal name, yes.
But you'd only call me by my legal name.
Yeah, I call you by your legal name. I don't have an issue with that. But I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to change what these established pronouns for male and female because you say, I'm Mark and here I am.
So what do you? So I really want to ask you. I'm genuinely curious about this. But first, let me just say, I think that. One, this isn't a case of someone thinking there's something that they're not. What people are saying is that there is a misalignment between my sex and my gender.
Disorder.
No.
That's the point. My mind and my body don't match. That's a disorder.
That doesn't make it a disorder. It just means that the world may be more diverse than we've previously understood it to be, whether we see it in plants, whether we see it in animals. There's all kinds of complexity. And we look in history. I mean, even we go back to the continent of Africa, we look in Asia. There's all kinds of examples of people who have complicated gender performances and complicated understandings of gender, and how we perform gender can be different. Mm-hmm. But I guess my question for you would be, why, if someone identifies as, particularly someone who you engage with, say it's a colleague at work or whomever, a family member, whomever, if they say, look, I prefer to be called she and her, and I no longer want to be identified by this name, why not just honor that?
If you changed your name, I will honor it.
But why not? I mean, I'm sure you call people by nicknames, dog. I'm sure you grew up in a black neighborhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
People, I know you know somebody named Peanut, right?
Yeah.
Right. You don't say, well, that's not your legal name. Your mama named Joe. I'm gonna call you Joe.
No, I'm saying if a name is one thing, but if you're asking me to change pronouns, I'm not going to do that because these are established pronouns. You're asking me to now change the English language, right? We know why we call female she, her, girl, woman. Okay, these are words that have meanings. These are words that have meaning. So this is a book, right? So could you call this? If this is a book and this is a mug, could you call this a book and call this a mug? Yes, you could do that if you want to change it. But words have meanings, right? So now if I switch it and you say, well, this mug wants to be called a book, it's a mug. It's just a mug. This is the word we've established for mugs. This is the word we've established for books. So you're asking me to change the actual meaning of words to accommodate you. I'm not going to do that.
No, that's not the request, though.
It is. Because not only is it a request, you can now get in trouble in certain states.
I'm saying that's not people
for misgendering someone.
The request of the trans community is not that I'm actually a man, but I want you to pretend I'm a woman. The argument of the trans community, which I agree with, is no, I am a woman. And so I want you to revert me.
But you're not a woman. So that's the problem. So this is what I say is now you've asked me to take on your mental disorder, right? So I am okay with the fact the argument from my uncle who thinks he's a Native American from a certain tribe is that this is what he thinks. He thinks, but he's not. Okay, so I'm not then to say to me that that argument is valid because he thinks it. No, just because you think something doesn't make it real. Okay,
But that's exactly what gender is. Gender is exactly about an experience and a performance and a social construct.
it's not a social construct. Stop saying a social construct. To say that words don't have meaning and they're socially constructed means nothing. And I'll tell you why.
They are.
But you say that, but then you'll let me guess.
This wasn't always a book.
Okay,
this
so
could
then
be called mug.
So
It
then
just happens not
you
to
know
be.
what it is? Our entire discussion about Black America meant nothing. There's no such thing as racial injustice. See what I did there? Because Black is a social construct.
Yeah, but we live in a social reality. So within that social reality,
It can't be both, Mark. So you either
Sure it
think
can
that
be.
the gender wage gap is BS, that feminism is wrong, and that racial disparities are all BS because everything's a social construct. You're either going to go full postmodernist and say nothing is real and it's all made up, or you're going to acknowledge that there are some hard, concrete truths. If there are hard, concrete truths, you and I are Black, okay? That's not going to change because we wake up and we decide, you know what, today I'm white and it's just how I feel, and today I'm Chinese. No. You and I are Black, okay? We are acknowledged as Black people. We're sitting down as Black people. I am a woman. You are a man, okay? Now, if I want to wake up tomorrow and say I'm a man, you want to say you're a woman and we want to play the crazy game, we can do that. To then say all of society now is to pretend that it was all a social, no, it was a social contract. You were born a male. I was born a female.
yes, that's a sex.
We are Black. Okay, it's a color though. Black it's a word that we use to say a sex. Female is a word that we use that has a meaning.
Yes,
it means you are born with a vagina. You can have children. You have a uterus. When you are a male, you are born with a penis. You get a woman pregnant. These words have real meanings. We cannot suddenly get into society where there are no truths.
So to acknowledge a social construct does not mean that we ignore biology, and it doesn't mean that we don't have.
Can men get pregnant?
Depends. I know.
What does it depend on?
I know trans men that can get pregnant.
That means it's a woman. Only one sex can
Well,
get
that's
pregnant.
a circular argument. That's
It's not a
begging the
circular
question.
argument.
Yeah.
It's proving my thing. There is a truth, a concrete truth. You have to be born with a uterus to have a baby. Only women can get pregnant. The fact that we've arrived in a society where
Right, and that's the
even
part I'm disagreeing
debatable,
with. That's the part I'm disagreeing
there's
with.
nothing to disagree with it. These are facts. So you can say that this person who is pregnant identifies as a man. That person was born a woman. I can tell you that every single time because only women can have sex because there are concrete truths about life.
Have babies.
Can have babies, pardon. And that is a hard truth about life. You cannot make that go away because you want to call a man, somebody who has a beard and dresses like a dude a woman. Only if it's pregnant, I can tell you exactly what it is. It's a woman.
So I'll give you, let's go back to the social construct thing, because then it'll answer the thing you just said. I'm not ignoring what you just said. I want to tie it together. So the idea of, my point was that a social construct doesn't ignore physical realities, right? The social construct is about how we as a society make sense of those physical realities, right? So for example, you said we're Black. Sure, right? I'm trying to think of, you pick a light-skinned Black person, right? They're Black, right? We'd agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's go to the Dominican Republic. Mm-hmm. Let's go to the PR. Let's go to Puerto Rico. Let's go to Jordan. Let's go to Iraq. Let's go to Sudan. Let's go to Ghana, right? And let's go to South Africa. I'm picking these places very specifically because they have different racial logics and racial paradigms. And what it means to be Black here, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a universal Blackness, right? That in Dominican, there might be 5 different other racial categories, right? And there are some light-skinned Black folk here who, when they go to Ghana, get basically seen as white, right? Because of how we socially construct it. Doesn't mean my biology changed. Doesn't mean my physical reality changed, but how society engages this stuff is what makes it a social construct. So similarly, when it comes so I'm not ignoring the realities of race. So with race and racism in America, and then I'm going to take it back to the gender thing. When it comes to race and racism in America, it's, yes, biologically we're all the same, right? Black people, white people, there's an infinitesimal difference between a Black person and a white person in terms of our genetics, right? This is superficial stuff. But that's a biological reality, right? It's a biological fact, right? Just like it's biologically true as me being born with a penis, right? But the truth is, but the idea that there's social meanings attached to that Blackness that make people fear me, or that make people think that that person's life is worth more because they're white or whatever. Those are social meanings that are arbitrary
Correct.
and different. So to acknowledge social constructs doesn't mean you ignore biological realities.
But you just did that when you said that men could give birth.
So similarly, what I'm saying is that I'm not denying the biological reality of maleness, of the genitalia we're assigned at birth and what we can do with those body parts. I'm not denying that. That's a biological reality. Again, the social meaning I'm attaching to it is what I'm saying is more complicated.
But it's not complicated. Can men give birth?
Sometimes. That's my answer. Yes.
And the answer that is crazy. And this is we cannot. It's just crazy. We cannot allow this to happen.
But you wouldn't say the definition of being a woman is the
truths.
ability to give birth.
And I'm not saying it, but only women can give birth is a factually true statement. Only women can give birth. There's only one type of human being
Only
that
people
can
with
give birth.
uteruses and vaginas
Yes,
and
can
stuff
give
can
birth.
give birth.
Only women can give birth.
I'm not
cannot
disagreeing with
give
that.
birth.
I'm not, and that here's what I think we're talking past each other. What I'm saying is, I'm not disputing the fact that certain body parts yield certain kinds of possibilities, right? What I'm disagreeing with is the idea that that is the measure of whether or not you're a man or a woman in society.
Okay, but it is now come to a point where if you say that only women can give birth, you are called a bigot. That is crazy. That's nuts. So if you say, like J.K. Rowling did when she got canceled by the Harry Potter cast, that only women can menstruate. Okay, can men get their period? Can you help my audience? Can men get their period?
Some can.
Okay.
Yeah, trans men. There's some trans men who can. And again, I think it's okay to ask interesting questions. I think it's okay to have intellectual debates. But I don't think that we ever want to enter a space where we deny the humanity. And I'm not saying you are, but to deny the humanity or the experiences of other people.
Like I said, I was totally okay with trans until it became a demand. What you are denying is my ability to be an intelligent human being, right? You're denying my ability to talk about science and biology in a meaningful way. You are now making your existence is actually infringing on mine. Okay.
How so?
And because when you make it a requirement now that I have to pretend that men can give birth and men can menstruate and there needs to be tampons as the ACLU is fighting for in male restrooms, and that if I don't see the reason, the importance of that, then I'm a bigot. I'm someone that doesn't accept. No. I accept you if you want to run around and you want to wear a dress and you want to call yourself Tiffany and you want to put a
you won't
pillow
call me
in
Tiffany.
If you want, I don't need to know your name. It doesn't mean anything to me. If you want to call, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't believe your name is Tiffany. You know, if a person comes up to me and they're in a dress and a skirt and they say my name's Tiffany, okay, cool, Tiffany, cool, right? But when it becomes Candace is a bigot because she won't acknowledge that Tiffany the man got her period and can have a baby, I'm not playing that game. I will never.
So tomorrow,
back
I'll come
down.
on your show tomorrow, and I have decided that, or a year from now, suddenly I have reimagined my identity, and I have recognized and affirmed my identity as a trans woman, and I no longer want to identify as Mark. I want to identify, as use your example, as Tiffany. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't be like, this book says Mark, you're Mark. You'd call me Tiffany.
I'd call you Tiffany, but I'm not going to call you she and her because that has real meaning. And I'm not going to play the game.
What's compromised by that is what I'm trying to understand.
My reality. You're now saying you've transformed your reality and now I have to pretend that words have no meanings, and they do have meanings, right? So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to call you, hi, Tiff. How you doing, Tiff? Did you have a good day, Tiff? Great, Tiff. I'm not going to then say she. I'm not doing that. And if people cannot, if people the demand,
but you won't misgender me either.
What? I'll just call you Tiffany.
And if they say where'd Tiffany go, you're not gonna be like he just left. You'll say she just left.
I'll probably slip up once or twice. But
I'm not talking about
Tiffany
mistakes, but I'm
left.
saying you wouldn't intentionally misgender me.
No, I wouldn't intentionally misgender you, but I don't want Tiffany in my bathroom. I don't want Tiffany
but
in
you also
my
don't want
spaces.
tampons in the other bathroom. That's
Right?
what I don't get.
No, I don't care. I think it's stupid. I think it's foolish. I think it's dumb. But if that's really where guys want to go, do it. I don't care. It's not my business. It doesn't impact me. I don't have to go in the bathroom. But I don't want Tiffany in my bathroom.
And you okay? Are you okay with gender neutral bathrooms?
That's how most bathrooms are. That's always go on the plane. They're all gender neutral.
No, I got you. But
Yeah,
I'm saying
bathroom, fine.
But
Cool.
I'm saying designating a specific one, like in public spaces, like restaurants.
Yeah, I hate that they say gender neutral because usually they just say bathroom. Like they don't need to say gender neutral. It just says bathroom, and we all understood that. That just seems to be an extra step of virtue signaling to say gender neutral. You just put bathroom. Everyone knows what that means.
No, but a lot of times in places like, for example, in our university, we have male bathrooms, we have female bathrooms, and then we have gender neutral bathrooms.
You can just put bathroom. Everyone knows what it means. You put WC, everyone knows what it means. It means anybody can go here. That's always been that way since the beginning of time. And then suddenly the trans lobby wanted to say gender neutral, and suddenly we had to put gender neutral.
That's so fascinating because I find it actually be the right in this case, and I'm not.
Planes, do they say gender neutral?
I'm with
bathroom?
you. I'm with you. I mean, grandmom's house.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, right? I mean, no one called it gender. I'm with you.
Yeah.
But I often find that it's the anti-trans community that's like, oh my God, the gender neutral bathroom.
Because it's the
God made bathroom for man, bathroom for woman.
No,
I'm like, what are you talking about?
No, they've always been just bathrooms. Usually at small places, just bathrooms. It's fine, but like I can't stand the preamble to the Constitution. Any person can go here. We don't care whether you. Just shut up.
I think that's a good thing. I think
it's just annoying. It's just the constant virtue signaling. Just shut up. Just put
it's
bathroom.
it's about affirming people's identity.
You don't need your identity affirmed on a bathroom sign. If you need
you
that,
do if you've been denied access.
It just says
That's
bathroom.
privilege.
It's not privilege.
That's cisgender privilege. It really is.
Oh my God!
It is.
Stop with these made-up terms. Cisgender privilege. It's just a bathroom.
All words are made up.
I mean, it's just a bathroom.
It's a necessary word.
It's like
no, but what I'm saying is, if you've been again, if you've been constantly denied access to something, affirming that you can come here matters because there's a long history of trans people.
Just right bathroom.
Right, and I'm saying just right bathroom historically has still excluded people who are visibly gender nonconforming. If you go throughout history, you know how many people are kicked out of restaurants and not even allowed to sit in the restaurant, much less use the bathroom because their gender doesn't seem to line up with society's expectations. And so saying you can come here too is a sign of saying we welcome you. It's just like when you see like an ally sign or a rainbow flag on a restaurant. It's not saying that anyone who doesn't have one means gay people can't come in, but the point is because places have been so hostile, affirming that you can come in
Nothing
matters.
annoys me more than that crap. I mean, I tell you, nothing annoys me more than seeing that crap everywhere all the time. It's just, you gotta have the Black Lives Matter flag, the LGBT flag, the this sign. It's like, dude, since when are people not allowed to just buy furniture? I don't need you to have 18 different signs. Like, I just want to walk into the furniture store. It's not
because
everything.
People aren't welcome. Would you be okay if they're American flag? Would you be mad at an American flag?
Can you help me? When were gay people in America not allowed to buy furniture? You're gonna have to help me out with that.
It's not specific to furniture, but gay people.
No, I'm saying like it's every store now. It's every store. They have to put a flag.
There is a historical narrative.
When were gay people not allowed to go into McDonald's?
As long as there have been McDonald's and public, and this isn't specific to McDonald's. I'm saying that in terms of public accommodations, people who identify as gender nonconforming. Mm-hmm. We can talk about gay, lesbian, bisexual, but I'm talking specifically right now about trans folk. Yes, they're often denied access to public spaces like restaurants, like furniture stores, like hospitals, etc. And part of the reason, and again, there's plenty of data on this, is that when they're in public space, they're often criminalized. They're often seen as sex workers, they're often seen as doing something illicit, even if they're just walking down the street. So the reason you see an overrepresentation of trans women, for example, being stopped and searched and frisked or apprehended or questioned, even when they've done nothing, or presumed to be doing sex work just because they're on a corner, like literally they could be crossing the street, is because there's an expectation of who and what they are, a social construct. And so, yes, to say, look, you can come here, we want you here, we won't be judged here, this is a safe haven here, is entirely reasonable. If I had a university, to use your argument earlier, and I think it's okay for a university on the website to say, hey, we value diversity of opinion. We want conservatives too, right? Now you might say, well, why do I need to say that? Conservatives should be allowed anywhere. But you would say universities are hostile spaces to conservatives. So if I wanted to signal to conservatives that they were welcome here too, I would have to go above and beyond to say that because they're typically not. And so I would, by your argument, and so I'm saying similarly, if a place is denying access historically, a country to queer folk or to trans folk, then I'm saying, yeah, we got to do something extra to say that.
Maybe we should come up with a flag for conservative people. I
think it's red, white, and blue. There's like 50 stars.
Oh, just America? That's it? We'll take it. Everyone start putting American flags so we know that it's safe for conservatives to go in.
Maybe it's the Confederate one. Maybe it's the Confederate one. I don't know.
I mean, whatever. I will wrap this by saying I think this was a very important discussion.
Yeah, this is fun.
I think there needs to be more of this. We don't have to agree, but we cannot be scared to have the conversation. People benefit from seeing different perspectives. In the Black community, we are not all a monolith. I disagree with Mark on virtually everything he has said here, but I will defend. You don't know what that does for me and my fans. Thank you. But I will defend his right to say it to the death of me. I think we need more diversity of thought and more diversity of opinion, and I deeply respect you for coming onto the show and saying what you believe on and sticking by your guns.
Thank you for inviting me. And everybody should buy this book. It's called Nobody, Casualties of America's War.
Well, first, you're going to get 2 minutes where you actually can pitch whatever you want.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, we wrap up every episode by allowing you to look into the camera.
Oh, wow.
So you can say, what we kind of say is encouraging you, like if you wish that your one message could fall upon the ears of every person in America, what would it be? Sort of a thing, right?
Cool.
So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
On your mark, get set, world, I give you Mark Lamont Hill.
Wow, I didn't expect this. I'm so nervous. First of all, we're in a desperate and trying time. It's more important than this book. And right now we need radical imagination. We need to not be prisoner to the moment we're in. We don't need easy solutions. We don't need simple solutions. We need to suspend all of our disbelief and invest in each other, believe in each other, and figure out new, more amazing and ambitious dreams than we've ever had before. It's the only way we can get out of this moment of darkness, of violence, of pain, of inequality, of injustice, of deep harm. We can't run from history. We can't escape history, but we can wrestle with it, and we can ultimately not be prisoner to it. And I'm proud of what's happening on the streets. I'm proud of what's happening around the world, and I'm proud to be engaged in dialogue that gets us there. I don't like to plug stuff, but I do think at this moment, this book is actually useful. It's called Nobody, Casualties of America's War on the Vulnerable, from Ferguson to Flint and Beyond. I wrote this I wrote this 6 years ago. It came out 4 years ago to talk about Flint and Baltimore and Ferguson and all these things. I didn't want to just talk about what it meant to be killed by police or what it meant to have lead in your water. I wanted to talk about the historical processes that got us there. I wanted to talk about the conditions underneath that keep us there, but I also wanted to leave with a sense of hope that, again, we don't have to be prisoner to this moment. We don't have to be what we once were, that the world can be different and better and more fair and more just and more free than we could even imagine. And I believe that all of us together can make that happen.
That was great. I feel like you were ready for that. Look at that. 20 seconds left. That was awesome.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a wrap. Thank you guys for watching the latest episode of the Candace Owens Show. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation as much as I did. As many of you guys are.
All right, y'all. So my opinion on the whole transgender thing, like how men can have babies and stuff. I mean, like, I just think that it's kind of like what? Like you were born, you can't change your biology. Like, you can't change that. Like, you can change how people view you, but you can never change your blood. You can never change. That's like changing your gender is like changing the color of your blood, bro. It's like changing the color of your blood. That's exactly what that is. It's like making your blood orange. That's exactly what changing your gender is. It's like making your blood orange or making your blood green inside your body. Like, I'm sorry, but that's crazy. Like, it's changing the way your body works. When they say men can get pregnant, no, that's not a man getting pregnant. That's a woman getting pregnant who's posing as a man. That's not a man. That's a woman.
Also, you know what I don't understand?
And
Hold on. Let me speak. Like, okay, so lesbians, right? Why do some lesbians go for masculine females? How does that make any sense? And then they'll say stuff like this: who's the man or who's the woman in the relationship? Why y'all saying stuff like that if you don't want a man?
well,
It doesn't make any sense. And then like the ones who go after like feminine like really girly girls that like other females, like, it doesn't make, like, why? Actually,
Well-
I think I know why. Most of the time it's because of trauma. Yeah, most of the time it's because of trauma. Like, and they try to deny, oh, it's not a mental disorder. It is, man. It is. You just need Jesus to heal your mind. You just need him. All you need is some Jesus. Not even some, just Jesus. You need all y'all need Jesus, man. That's all I want to say. Y'all need Jesus.
all right. So about what Candace Owens was saying, I agree with her on the trans thing. I agree with her on the trans thing. But with the with all the other stuff about like LGBTQ, she agrees with like lesbians, gays, bisexuals, all that other stuff. I don't agree with like, you know, a man loving another man or a woman loving another woman.
Sexually, of course.
Because that also, you know, they might not change their gender, but that also is going against the meanings of certain things. That's also going against the meaning of certain things. Like when a man loves another woman, it is not that's not natural. That's not natural. That's something that's not in the natural. That's something that's not in the natural because they cannot reproduce. They cannot reproduce. That changes the entire way that the world works when we see men loving other men and women loving other women.
Romantically, of course.
Romantically. It like the Bible says that God made us male and female, which also goes for the transgender. But then God also said that a man shall not lie with a man as he lies with a woman. So the thing is is that Christians out here who are speaking up for trans people, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. You are wrong for that. You're speaking up for sin, and you need to repent of your sins, as well as the people that you're preaching to. They need to also repent of their sins, but you yourself need to repent of your sins for also just supporting sin and spreading false gospel about supporting sin, because that's spreading false gospel. So what I have to say about, all this LGBTQ stuff, all I really have to say is that these are signs that Jesus is coming back soon. So when Christians see this, we should be preaching more. When we see men loving other men, we should be preaching more. Everything is going to be backwards. It says that everything is going to be backwards when Jesus comes back. So we need to start preaching more. We need to start going out, preaching more. I mean, you don't really even have to go out and preach, bro. You have this social media, bro. Like, you can literally you have no excuse. You have no excuse to not say something. You have no excuse. When you come before the Father, you have no excuse, because we have this social media. Social media literally can get the word out any place in the world.
In an instant. Any
place in the world. So you have no excuse. So stop preaching this gummy bear, this soft gospel. Stop preaching this prosperity gospel that everything's going to be all right and that nothing's going to go wrong and that you're just going to be successful 100% of the time, and you're not going to fail. You're not going to fall. You're not going to make a mistake. You're not going to do anything like that if you just pray for it.
Stop preaching that everything's going to be perfect. It's not.
It's not.
It's not going to be perfect until we ascend into heaven.
Stop thinking that God is just going to do whatever you say, whenever you want to, whenever you ask it. Stop thinking that. Well, God is not our servant. God is not our servant. You need to work for what you want. Sure, you could pray to God to help you with it, but the thing is, you got to put in the work. God's not going to step in and do all the work for you. You got to put in the work. You know what I'm saying? And when you do get that award, don't just say, oh, God didn't do nothing for me. I did this all by myself. Don't say that I did this, I did that. Don't say that. Don't say that, because God, because God, whatever you did that was great, God had to allow it. Because Satan can't do anything without God allowing it. Because, Satan might give you all these things, all these riches. But the thing is, God had to allow it. God had to allow it because God is in control of everything. God had to allow it. God could have just said no. God could have just said no. It took everything from you. He did it to Job. And Job was somebody who actually followed him and somebody who was devoted to him. And he did that to somebody who was actually devoted to him. Well, not him, but Satan. He allowed Satan to take away from Job.
God will never be the cause of our suffering. Never.
Exactly. God's never the cause of our suffering. The cause of our suffering are these demons. But the thing is, God allows these demons.
Hold on. It's not even just demons. We can be the cause of our suffering too.
Yeah, we can be the cause of our suffering too. But God allows it because he doesn't want Christians that are not who are weak. He doesn't want weak Christians in his kingdom.
He allows these storms to come. It's like muscle building, man. Like, you gotta get injured. You know what I'm saying, in order to build muscle or to gain more strength.
Not injured, but you gotta when you train a muscle.
You train a muscle, you end up sore, right? That's
you end up sore.
You're gonna get hurt.
You're gonna get. But no, don't train the muscle to the point where you actually do get an injury.
No.
I'm trying to tell them that because they could be you know what I'm saying, they could misinterpret it.
Yeah, that's not what we're talking about.
That's not what we're talking about. When you get sore and you train the muscle.
You're gonna be sore for some days. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be days where things are not gonna. They're not gonna what's the word for it? I mean, I would say perfect, but things aren't perfect at all.
Things are not perfect.
Things aren't gonna be good. That's all I'm gonna say. You
cannot say that everything is good in your life when you still got You cannot say when I see celebrities what they got all this money and stuff, but the thing is they're still not happy. They got a family. Like, look at Will Smith, for example. Will Smith is the perfect example. Like, you know, he has all this money. Now he like slapped somebody. He got famous for slapping somebody, but he still got famous for slapping somebody. But you know, he also got people got mad at him for doing that and everything and blew him up. But then when we see people spitting upon gospel preachers, where did all that go?
Yeah, where did all that energy?
Where did all that go? Where did all that energy go?
And the thing is, bro, people don't care.
Why is there nobody in this world that's gonna say, "Oh, you shouldn't have did that to that gospel preacher. You shouldn't have did that."
I mean, there is people, but there
there is people. But the thing is that when Will Smith went out there and slapped a comedian who his job is literally making fun of people. His job is literally making fun of people. And maybe he just didn't like the joke. And you know, it was uncalled for. But, you know, he made a joke about his wife and stuff or whatever. But, you know, that's between, you know, Will Smith and his wife. But, you know, he went up there and slapped, you know, the comedian, Chris Rock. And he got, like, you know, hated for it. But whenever we Christians get hurt or killed for something, it's nothing like that. I don't see nothing like that. Like if what's his name? Like if a famous pastor or something died or something, people got shot or killed or something, nobody would like, you know what I'm saying? Nobody would be like pressed over that.
People would be pressed. Like a famous pastor, yeah, people would be pressed. But what I want to say is like I saw this video earlier and it was just on YouTube Shorts. I was literally just throwing my life away. You know what I'm saying? And it talks about.
Wait, no, what I mean is like a street preacher, not like a.
Oh, street preacher, all right. But like, yeah, next topic. So there's this guy named Michael. I forgot what his name was. I'll tell y'all after as I search it up. But like, he said death to all gang members, right? And what I realized is like, not just but like the people in that comment section, he really woke them up because a lot of like rappers these days or musical artists, a lot of them are gang affiliated, like King Von or who else?
What you read, bro?
J.D. Youngin. And King Von, what he would do is he would talk about this kid named Tuka, and Tuka was a 15-year-old kid who got like shot, who got killed, and the guy Michael, he talked about how people don't like. They don't even care if their celebrities are murderers. Like, there's literally celebrities out here, right?
Yeah, there's literally celebrities.
They're literally murderers. They don't care if they're murderers. If they like them, they don't want you to talk about them or have their name in your mouth, talking bad about them or anything.
They think that if a celebrity,
but if it was an innocent nobody like the kid Tuka who got shot and killed, who King Von was like roasting in his rap and stuff like that. They wouldn't care. They wouldn't pay any mind, a second of their attention to that. They wouldn't care. It really woke me up because like you shouldn't show favoritism. Like God does not show favoritism. He doesn't. He has favor, but he doesn't show favoritism, man. Like we shouldn't show favoritism towards anybody or anything. The only person we should show favoritism to is God. He should be the special person in our life. Like the person that we favor the most in our life, you know what I'm saying? And we tend to like not do that at all. And if you can't even favor God, not favor, but like put God above all, like at least treat everybody equally. You know what I'm saying? Like I know not all y'all are Christian here watching. At least treat others equally, even if you don't want to believe in God, of course, even though He is real. But yeah. I just want to bring that up. Oh yeah, I forgot to bring my views to the table. You know what I'm saying about what Candace was talking about with Mark Lamont. So I don't agree with anything that has to do with like the LGBTQ because.
All right, well, I mean, I already talked about it, but you can.
Let's elaborate a little bit. Like, tell me why they look for like the male figure and female figure in the relationships. If y'all like they try to act like they're creating their own new thing, but they're really not. They're just making a replica and a mimicry of what God made first. Man and woman being in a relationship. They're literally just making a mockery of what God made good. This is what the devil does. Like what the devil does is he doesn't make something new. He makes a mockery. He mimics what God does. He mimics what God does. He doesn't make anything new. The devil hasn't made anything. No, he hasn't. He hasn't. He just makes mimicries of what God has already done. The Antichrist, a mimicry of what God has already done. Lesbian or gay relationships, a mimicry of Adam and Eve. It's not Ada and
Well,
Eve.
it's not a mimicry of perversion.
Yeah, perversion. Sorry. Perversion. It's a perversion of what God has already made. That's all the enemy can really do with what God has made. He can only pervert it, make it evil, make it look demonic. That's all he can really do. So, like for you to be a Christian, if you're a Christian watchers and you agree with LGBTQ, like how can you support something that's the devil's perversion? That's a perversion of what God made good. Relations between man and woman. How can you support that? Like, and most of the time, I feel like people who agree with this stuff, they don't see how deep it is, what the real truth is about this stuff. They don't see it. They don't see it. You know, like what I realize is when it has to do with somebody that we like, who may be gay or homosexual or LGBTQ, we don't want to like offend them.
Yeah, we don't.
We put them above our morals.
We care so much. We don't really care about that person, because the thing is, if we really cared about them, we would preach to them now. I would rather somebody be mad at me right now for me preaching the gospel to them than be mad at me in hell because I didn't. I would rather somebody be mad at me on this earth than be mad at me in hell, and they can't even do anything about it.
Because what I realize is, like, when people go to hell, they're going to be thinking about all the times that God has shown himself to them in their life. How many times God has revealed himself to them in their life. And they're going to be like, oh, why didn't you tell me about Jesus? Why didn't you tell me about Jesus?
They're going to cry out. They're going to have sorrow. There's going to be gnashing of teeth. And I guarantee you, some Christians are going to hear that. I guarantee you, some Christians are going to hear their names being called out by people.
I mean,
their names.
Probably not on this earth, because you know that they can't communicate with the dead. Yeah, but I would say this: they're gonna remember.
They're gonna remember. God's gonna show you during judgment. God is going to show you.
Definitely judgment day.
God is going to show you everything, every single thing that you did that was wrong and that was not displeasing in the Lord's eyes, and that includes not preaching when you were supposed to.
Like, bro, there's such thing as being a coward in Christ. I mean,
Jesus said, if you're ashamed, he said, like, if you're ashamed of me, I'll be ashamed of you in front of my Father. So that verse right there is one of the scariest verses in the Bible, because Jesus is calling his Christians. He's calling his Christians to preach. And if you do not preach his name, if you're unashamed of God, he will welcome you into his kingdom. But if you are ashamed and you hide, you cannot hide from God. You can't hide from him. God knows every single thing that you do in your entire life. It doesn't matter if Adam lived 900 years, up to 900 years old, and God knows every single thing he did in his life. So compared to somebody who lives 100, 120, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, God knows everything. every little detail that you did from since you came out your mother's womb. Even having a child as a man.
And notice how we say your mother's womb, not your father's, not a male's, a mother's, a woman. Y'all see, I don't understand. Y'all trying to say, oh,
when they say a man has a child, right? You came out of a woman, bro. You came out of a woman, not no
like,
man.
and the thing is, some of them don't realize what they're saying, man. They don't realize the weight of what they're saying. They're saying stuff from the perversion. From the perversion of what was already made. It's a perversion of what was already made by God. It literally is.
And Daniel, you know the thing that man said at the end? He said that we need to be more imaginative.
We don't.
He said we need to be more imaginative.
What
and
type
then
of
I
stupid
was
stuff
like,
is that?
so basically these trans people, it's literally imaginative. They're imagining themselves. They have this imaginative.
It's a fantasy.
As a woman.
It's a fantasy.
They see themselves as a woman and it's imaginative. So when somebody calls them a man, they get angry and they get angry at this person. But the thing is, that happens all the time. I've seen like in my class, like right, like where a man is sitting up there and a kid accidentally calls somebody a ma'am or something, but the man doesn't get mad because he knows he's a man. He knows he's a man. So then why do you get mad when we call you a woman or a man and you're not? You're a man or woman, right? So what does our word have to do anything with it? You're a woman in your own head, right? What does our word have to do anything with it? Why are you getting mad because we're calling you something that you are? You get mad because you know deep down inside, deep down inside in your mind that you are what we say you are. You're a woman and you're a man. You are that. And deep down you know it. So that's why you get mad when we call you anything else. That's why you get mad when we call you anything different.
People have been so degenerative and passive about these things, man. Like, bro, like the whole, like. There's literally two genders.
There's only two genders.
Each gender is a one half of the population, right? One half population. And now they want to make all these other genders. And there's going to be like 9,000 parts of the population.
One day there's going to be a gender called animal where they can have sexual relations with animals.
They've been doing that for ages.
They've been doing that for ages, but there's not a gender to all that.
They just started to make it like a famous, like
like furry or something. Furry is gonna be a gender.
People just don't. They're so stuck in their own mind, man. It's
oh my goodness! Like how can you be in denial of How can you be in denial of your own self? I don't even. That doesn't even make sense to me. How can you be in denial of your own self?
And they always try to say, "Oh, I'm coming out the closet." Why were you in the closet in the first place?
Why were you in the closet, bro? Wait. Actually, that kind of like sounds weird. I'm not gonna lie. Like whenever they say, "Oh, I came out."
Hold on.
I came out gay.
No. Hold on. It's a demon hiding in that closet.
Demon.
It ain't you. It's a demon.
It's a demon. That demon of perversion.
Why? Because the closets are dark, right? Demons like hiding in darkness. It's a demon hiding in that closet. And then
the demon was messing with you while you was up in that closet.
Hold on, bro. See, they're talking about the closet in their temple inside.
I came out the closet, whatever, right?
The closet inside of their temple. Like we're all like houses. You know what I'm saying? It talks about this in like.
I guarantee you, one day somebody's gonna say, "I came out the closet as a deer." I came out the closet as a turtle.
All right, hold on. Let me finish speaking. Before you start talking over me. All right, why did it say it's coming out the closet? Why did it say that? I believe they say it for is because the closet in their temple, man. Some things there's like I feel like we all have this, not even just LGBTQ, but humans in general. We all have a demon hiding somewhere inside of us. Some people don't, you know what I'm saying, because you get deliverance. I don't believe I had that, but at one point we all did. We all had that a spirit, right? Hiding inside of us. They're not gonna hide in the light. No, they're gonna hide in the darkness. That's why they say it's in the closet. Closets are dark places, normally, unless you got like a walk-in closet. But they're dark places. You know what I'm saying? It's just you guys gotta read the language. You gotta read the language, man. Like they say these things for a reason, man. Like whatever comes out of somebody's mouth, they mean it in a way. What I'm saying right now, I mean 100%. I mean 100%, 100,000%. All that it can give. Even if you say something passively, it comes from the depths of your soul. It does. So when they say, I'm coming out the closet, it has a meaning. It has a spiritual meaning.
There's a meaning. They say when people say certain things, there's always something behind it.
You gotta get them demons out the closet. You gotta get them demons out the closet, man.
So this is how I think that the process of coming out the closet is. Like first, their spirit has to die. If their spirit dies, their flesh takes over, and then they come out as another person or another form or what their flesh truly is. These demons eat away at the flesh, and the demons eat away at their spirit, right? And then they come out, or whatever they were influenced by when they were young, when they had this, spirit, because when you're young, you're untouched. Like when you're born, you're untouched by
you're innocent.
You're untouched. You know what I'm saying? But when you start getting older, you start getting all this influence. That's when it starts coming in. So as Christians, we gotta watch what we're listening to. We gotta watch what we're watching. Gotta watch it, because that influence can last your entire life. That influence is dangerous. Can be an influence from a family member. Could influence. I mean, I'm pretty sure I have a gay family member. I think so. I don't know.
I definitely.
Yeah, I think I do have a gay family member, but
no, I don't hate him. I don't
hate my gay family. I don't hate gay people. I love gay people, but I love all human beings. But the thing is that I hate your sin. For me to really, really get that love on, for me to really treat you like a brother, treat you like, you know what I'm saying? You got to get rid of that sin, because that sin is restricting me from being open and, being open to you. So you got to get rid of that sin. So that's the thing. That's why I got to preach. That's why I got to preach my God's name, because I can't be around that sin. I got to close the triggers, because I can't let that influence get upon me. I can't let that stench get on me. You know what I'm saying? I can't let that influence get upon me. I can't let that sin get upon me. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I got to preach. That's why I separate myself from you. That's why you guys do think that we hate you, because we're separating ourselves from you. We have to separate ourselves from you, because we can't stay with the worldly. That's why you guys think that we're hating on you, because we're separating ourselves from you. But to tell you the truth, we don't hate you. We don't hate you. If anything, by preaching to you, we're loving you. We're loving you by preaching to you. Because I would rather you be mad at me right now when you can do something about it, than go to hell and get mad at me when you can't do anything about it. So, yeah. That's really all I got to say. You can say whatever you want in the comment section, but I don't entertain foolishness. I don't entertain that.
But yeah, that's the video. That's what we came to talk about. That's what we came to react to.
All right. Peace. Oh, wait, Daniel, you know what we're about to do,
Oh, yeah, hold on.
All right.
Peace.
Love. Oh, wait, bro. Peace.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Peace, love, and joy. Hey guys, I got just one thing to tell y'all real quick. That Jesus is not going to be coming back as a savior. He's going to be coming back as a conqueror. He's going to be coming back as a warrior. You see all these people in this picture. Those are the people that are going to be bowing down. They're going to be forced to bow down. All these warrior-looking people, they're going to be forced to bow down. In the background, you can see the flags of war. You can see buildings destroyed. You don't want this type of suffering. You don't want to be forced to bow down, because Jesus will force you to bow down. Jesus will force you to bow down. You will come before Jesus and be judged. All of us. But you want to be saved. You want to be saved. You want to enter his gates. So I'm asking you, are you saved? Do you need deliverance?
When I fear is G-O-D. Keep that bottle, yeah, that B-I-B-L-E. Pull up the sand, block it, spin it again. Bible what I read, got it all on me.